I still can't believe like this is still a thing in boxing where fighters don't know when their promoter or manager is throwing their name in whatever. So I've been trying to keep up with this as I'm somewhat new to the situation. Basically, I just started following the Boots Ennis, Virgil Ortiz storyline over the last couple of days, despite the fact that I was at the fight. Now, when I was at the fight, when Boots Ennis fought Karen Chuck, that's what I call him, I was like, okay, let's see if this plays out. Now, as far as Boots Ennis is concerned with his last fight, well, to be very honest, let me go ahead and say this. A lot of times people think just because I'm from Philly, I'm supposed to just, I don't get it. I find the practice disgusting where they say, oh, well, you're from here. You're supposed to support from there. Yeah, I do. I want the best for them. But that don't mean I'm going to sit here and suck their cock. You kind of see what I'm saying with this? So I guess what I'm going to say is it's going to probably ruffle some feathers. But I always thought Boots Ennis was good. But given the level of competition, which we're going to look at, why am I not following him, by the way? I'm not on Instagram like I used to be back in years ago. Well, the point I'm trying to make is, I looking at his resume, which we're going to delve into, I haven't really seen anything that really has me going, you know what? Like, that's a special fighter. Yeah, I always thought he was good, but when you look at who he's been fighting, he hasn't really been tested. Now, fighters are going to have bad nights. So I didn't give him too much crap for him not looking good against Karen Chuck. 33-0, 29 KOs from Philadelphia, 27-year-old IBF champion Jerome Boots Ennis. Now, people are backtracking a bit, but at one point in time, Boots was considered somewhat of a boogeyman. So let's go back down memory lane. Take your time out, like the video, subscribe. I'm TstreeT Controversy with Fight View 360.
Mannix is with the winner.
Well, Boots, congratulations. 2 fights against Shugajan, but 2 very different types of fights. What'd you think of your performance tonight?
My performance was okay. You know, I don't know, man. I think it might be time to go to 54, yo.
Did you feel differently?
I felt good, but I just, you know, I feel like at 54, I'm gonna be way better, and my pop gonna be how it's supposed to be. I'm getting older now. I'm 27. I'll be 28 next year.
The very first fight, you had to chase him around for the better part of 12 rounds. He kind of stood and traded a little bit more. Did you expect that?
Yeah, no, I mean, like I said, I was prepared for anything he had coming. You know, it didn't really matter to me. You know, but I'm glad, you know, I got the win. And I mean, like I said, I felt okay. You know, but it's only bigger and better.
This was one of those fights that was effectively forced on you. You had to defend your title against the mandatory. Did that make it hard at all to kind of train and get up for a fight like this?
I mean, yeah and no, you know, but at the end of the day, you know, I wanted to be better than last time, you know, and I wanted to get that knockout. I heard him a lot of times, and I was like rushing, you know, I don't know, you know, but it's okay.
There did seem at times to be a disconnect from what your father wanted in the corner and what you were delivering in the ring. It didn't seem like you were giving him what he wanted. Where was that disconnect?
I heard everything he was saying. I don't know, I was just in there, you know, I was listening and not listening at the same time. You know, he wanted me to use more angles, you know, use my jab more, and stop standing in front, you know, and I did the opposite.
Your offense is still among the best in the welterweight division, if not the best. But with the second straight fight, we've seen you get hit a little bit more often than we've seen in the past. What do you need to do defensively to get better?
All right, let me fast forward. That's not the part I was looking for.
I know if I fight a way better guy, I'm gonna be crazy, you know, I'm gonna be on point, you know. That's what's gonna make me better, you know. Not saying he's a bad fighter or anything, but I need them top guys.
I was going to ask you about unifying these titles, but it sounds like you're ready to get out of 147.
No, I mean, if we can get one of these guys, man, stop playing, yeah, let's make it happen, you know, but if not, man, 54, here I come.
You know, this is the second straight time you've fought here in Philadelphia. For the second straight time, this crowd has shown out for you. You know, big crowds here to support you. What does it mean to you to get this kind of support in your hometown?
I mean, everything. I appreciate everybody that came out, that came to support, you know, even though.
So, as you can see, he was kind of getting cooked. I'm not gonna say kind. He was getting cooked.
Hopefully we bring a big name here.
After he fought.
The rest of these belts, we're going to 54 and campaign there and collect them belts there.
You've said that 154 is a poppin' division. It certainly is deep, really 1 to 15. If you could move up next year and challenge anybody, who would it be?
Anybody at 154, anybody with a name. Like I said, I want to fight the top guys, the best guys. I want to be great. I want to be all-time great. That's what you got to do to fight these guys. You got to put yourself out there.
Congratulations, Boots.
Thank you, appreciate it.
Eddie, we'll turn to you. Gets a win.
Now, of course, we don't know who to blame because, let me read it for you for the reading impaired. I seen the rumors on social media just like y'all did as far as the fight with me and Virgil. I was unaware that alleged negotiations was being made on my end. From here on out, if it didn't come from me and me only, don't believe it. And I will address if I'm staying at 147 or moving up to 54 at a later date and time. So what it's looking like is he's saying that either Eddie Hearn or his father are negotiating for him. Somebody's negotiating. Somebody's talking. Because as it stands right now, let's go look at Dan Rayfield's article from Fight Freaks Unite. I have a subscription. So, are you ready? There's an old adage that if it sounds too good to be true, it probably is. That appears to apply to the prospect of what most viewed as a misfight between WBC junior middleweight Virgil Ortiz and IBF champion Jerron Boots Ennis. The sides had agreed to a fight, which was supposed to be a part of a mega card in Saudi Arabia, February the 22nd. I'm just paraphrasing, bear with me. However, the fight cratered on Friday. That Friday would be November the 29th. It is December the 1st right now. I had to look at the calendar. I'm sorry. So it fell apart basically a couple of days ago, leaving organizers looking for a new opponent to fight Ortiz. Multiple sources told Fight Freaks Unites that the Saudis reached out to WBC WBO champion Sebastian Fendora's promoter Samson to gauge interest in the bout. Lukovitz told Fight Freaks Unite on Friday night that they were not interested because they already had other plans in the works. Fendora is still waiting on what he's going to do with Spence or whatever's going on with there. And by the way, Terrence Crawford is Fendora's mandatory. When Queensberry, the official promoter of the card, sent over a brief term sheet for signature to Ortiz promoter Golden Boy, all was in order except for identifying the bout as being for Ennis's 147-pound title. So basically, what I'm gathering from it is they snuck in, like, hold up, this fighting taking place at 154. Virgil Ortiz, who damn near died, hospitalized multiple times, he's got to come back down to 147 for the fight. When that was flagged, Ortiz's camp was told that Ennis's team at Matchroom Boxing had said was the way to include in the term sheet. That made the fight a non-starter. Ortiz had not made the welterweight limit since August of 2022 and never had any intention of going down to 147, where he struggled badly to make weight in the days leading up to a mandatory shot against WBA champion Amanda Stanionis in July 2023. Remember, Ortiz Jr., and this is me just going to the resumes here. Hold on. Let me pull up Ortiz's first welterweight fight. Super welterweight fight official was against Sergey Bauchuk. All of his other fights was at 155 pounds, which basically, middleweight. So, for example, 156. So, for example, McKinson, August. Then, and remember, that's well over 2 years ago, the last time he made that weight. Frederick Lawson, that was at 156. Dulorme, which I was pissed off at, that fight just, but he dispatched him in one round at a weight of, what was that? Looking like 156 and a half. 156, I guess, with the catch weight of 155 and a half. And then he finally made 154 against Sergey Bauchuk, where he went life and death. So Basically, the article's talking about his weight issues. The Saudis had called Lukavitz on that Friday about Fundora trying to get in steps in. Let me see. We have other plans for Fundora, and we will not change. Lukavitz said, so definitely doesn't happen. We have other plans. We didn't talk about money because money is not everything. Sebastian Fundora's plan is already written, and we will not accept any offer. Damn, they just straight shut the door on the Saudis. It has been no secret that Lukavitz and Premier Boxing are looking to match Fundora in a title defense against Errol Spence in one of the first fights of 2025. But I guess it wouldn't be until April 2025 because we know that Tank Davis against Lamont Roach, that's official for March the 1st. That press conference is in a couple of days in Brooklyn. The fight's going to be taking place in Brooklyn. You have David Morrell and David Benavidez fighting on February the 1st. So, and really, do people really want to see Errol Spence versus Fundora? Be honest. You know, like that fight just seems like they're just trying to, they're just doing their best to try to force that fight out. So, to get back to Boots Ennis, listen, what it's looking like, and let's hear what Fazcar had to say first. And this is why I think it's him. But Boots, it's like this. With the way his last fight went, he needed some excellent PR. Like they couldn't make a mistake like this because not only was he getting cooked, you know, for his performance, and I got to be honest with you, I didn't really give him too much shit for it. I was like, all right, fighters have bad nights. But then for this whole debacle to happen, it's looking like, oh, Boots ain't the guy that we thought he is. Now people are going to be looking at him like he food. But what I think is going to happen is I think that they're looking at Mario Barrios, who was on the Jake Paul card and was going life and death with Ramos, the uncle of Jesus Ramos. Damn, they got his head knocked off. We almost had a WBC champion like dead serious. I covered that fight. It was crazy. So, and the 154-pound division, don't get me, I mean, the 147-pound division is seemingly open, and Boots could probably beat those guys despite how he look against Karen Chuk. But let's listen to Fazcar because I think it's him. Y'all think it's him? I think it's him.
What did you think of that performance?
You know, I think a lot of the problem at this level is he's going in there to try and make it entertaining with very little regard for what's coming back. I thought it was actually a great performance from Judasian. They said they were going to give us a real fight this time. They did it. And, you know, Boots isn't always switched on like he would be against the fighter that he has the fear factor again. I've noticed this week he's been much tighter than normal at 147. Perhaps it is time to move to 54. It's very difficult to do it when you want to win belts and you hold a world championship. But also, if it's affecting your performance, you have to move up. So obviously there's been a lot of talks, been well documented about Virgil Ortiz. It's a fight we'd love. It's one of the best fights in the sport. But I would still like to see him unify the division. We've got to talk to Bozy, talk to Giron, and see how long we can stay around at this weight. He's entering the prime of his career. He'd be much more switched on against the fighters that carry more danger, but a good fight tonight, a cracker compared to the first fight, and I think that was his focus. And sometimes when you're focused on trying to make it entertaining and try and get a stoppage only, sometimes you're going to take too many shots, which he did tonight, and he can't afford to take shots like that against better opposition. I don't think he will, but I think they're going to be more keen to fight him now.
Definitely some good fights at 47, unification fights. We mentioned Virgil Ortiz, and those two guys have been circling each other for the better part of the last 3 or 4 years. Virgil now at 154, does have an interim title at 154. What are you hearing about the possibility that fight could happen?
Yeah, I mean, we spoke to His Excellency. You've seen it on the 5v5 with Oscar de la Blanca, and, I think that it's really a case of just making the fight. I'm sure I'll get a phone call in the next 10, 15 minutes to confirm the fight. We're ready to go for February 22nd. The plan was to fight Karen and unify, but like I said, it's getting tight there at 47, and we've got to probably move to 54. If we do, Boots against Virgil Ortiz is one of the best fights in the sport.
You're going to wind up on Clapback Thursday for that.
Oh, always. It's going to be a lot of fun, and we look forward to it.
So who snuck the 47 in the contract, and do you believe that Boots didn't know about it? It had to be his pop or it had to be Eddie. But you think that they didn't talk about it? Let's try to see if he can do it at 147. Let's just try it. Or do you think that maybe his pop, Boozy Ennis, Or maybe Eddie Hearn is like, hold up. Maybe we want to wait a little bit for that Virgil Ortiz fight. Maybe, maybe that could be it. Look, y'all trust Fast Car? I wonder what Tim Bradley had to say. I didn't see this.
I'm chiming in real quick, man. I heard the news about Boots and Virgil supposed to be off. I'm just letting y'all know right now, that's duck soup. Duck's soup at its finest. That's exactly the way you do it when you want to duck somebody. When you change your mind, when you don't believe that you that damn good. I don't want to hear nobody else say anything about Boots people ducking, and we ain't saying none of that no more. Absolutely not. This is a clear indicator right here that he don't want no smoke with anybody, because this is the perfect matchup for him at 154 pounds. He gets a smaller guy. It's not a big guy. He's been at 54 for a while, but this is the perfect matchup. What about all that talk y'all was doing after the fight? Your promoter was doing after the fight. Man, 154, 147 is really hard for him to make, you know what I mean? The weight is an issue. Y'all was blaming that on his last performance, right? What? Now you want to stay at 47? Look, you can stay at 47. You can fight, right? All you got to do is talk to the sanctioning body. That's all you got to do, and tell them, hey, I want to take this. I want to actually go up to 54, and I want to fight Virgil. Can I maintain my belt at 147 pounds? Yes. And they're going to say, yeah, as long as you pay the sanctioning fee. That's it. That's all he got to do. But obviously, he's not as bad as y'all think he is. All them fans out there thinking he'd be bad, right? This ain't a good look from Boots and this team, man. And you talking about Boots ain't fought nobody, this and that, and all that in the third, man. This is not looking good for the Boots camp, man. This is not looking good for Eddie Hearns. Eddie Hearns ain't even got to come out the pocket for this. This is gonna be Saudi Arabia money. This is unbelievable to me, man. Boots, come on now. You need to fight at 54, bro. Come on, step up and face this man, bro, because I'm telling you right now, you looking like a sucker right now, man. You and your team looking like a sucker, bro. Gear up. Let's go. Anyways, that's my time, man. I just wanted to chime in real quick, let y'all know, man. I hearing the noise. I'm out doing my thizzle.
Sheesh. People pissed. By the way, Xander Zayas wants to step in, but will Top Rank allow it? Remember what happened when Jared Anderson stepped in against Martin Piccoli. He got his ass dominated. And Top Rank right now, they're in a rebuilding phase. If you haven't noticed by their cards. I mean, yeah, they got Navarrete Valdez 2 coming up. But for the most part, a guy like Xander Zayas is very valuable for them in the future. Will they sign off on that? But why do I feel that it's going to happen, though? Why do I feel that it's going to happen? I don't feel that the fight is fully dead yet. I didn't even see what Virgil Ortiz had to say. Let's see what you got to say, Virgil Ortiz. Where you at? I've always said I'll fight anybody and remain true to my word. Every single person that I've been offered to fight, I said, yes, it takes two to tango in boxing. So if I'm not in the ring fighting someone, no, it's not my fault. We gonna see, though. We gonna see. Thanks for watching. Please subscribe. Follow me on my Twitter page. Doing some rebranding and rebuilding around here. I've been retweeting all this stuff. Sunny Up, which really pissed me off yesterday. I can't imagine if I was a gambler how I would feel. Here is what Xander Zayas had to say. He gave me an hour to say yes. I said yes in 1 minute. By the way, Xander Zayas is creeping up on being one of the next mandatories for the WBO or one of the major sanctioned bodies. He is the next guy, after Boots. For example, let me pull up the rankings real quick. You got Stanionis and Gayasov, who's supposed to be fighting sometime in the spring. Conor Ben is trying to fight Mario Barrios. He's now fully cleared to fight globally. And then as you can see, well, there you go. He's here. I'm sorry. We were talking about 147 where Boots is. As you can see, Xander Zayas, he's going to have to fight either Josh Kelly or George Conwell to be the mandatory for Sebastian Fundora after Terrence Crawford. Whatever happens with this, as you can see, Virgil Ortiz is the interim champion. So basically, Fundora's got the mandatories piling up, and it's closing in on him. The walls are closing in on him. He's got this loyalty to PBC. Mario Barrios was getting touched up by Abel Ramos. Damn near lost his belt. We could have had, just a couple of weeks ago, we could have had Abel Ramos as the WBC, Amanis Stanionis as the WBA, Karen Chuk as the IBF. Not saying he would have won. And then Brian Norman as the WBO. The fucking 147 is up for grabs, man. Is up for grabs. But yeah, PR nightmare going on for Boots Ennis right now. Just some bad moves, you know. And now, just 6 months ago, not even that, I wasn't saying he was a boogeyman, but fans was like, you know, he was the boogeyman. Terrence Crawford was ducking him and all kind of stuff. And now look how the tables have turned. Thanks for watching. Please subscribe on TstreeT Controversy with 5U360.